Hi YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I want to thank everyone for all of your wonderful comments. I know I have been changing up my look a little bit here and there, and I had someone say some things that they just didn't like my other hair. Well, and that's fine. I mean, that's just my natural state hair, and you can see that there's many different states to have a natural hair, and this is my hair when I actually put product in it. So this is all my natural hair, and I think I'll just change it up a little bit, but I do appreciate your feedback. I tend to try to listen to criticisms in a way that's constructive, and that brings me to my point about my channel and Meghan Markle and the royal family. There's a lot of things that I've been saying that are not so pro Meghan, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with some of the things that I say, and there are some people that don't agree with the things that I say. But I think in life in general, no one is perfect. No one is perfect, but we all go through life making choices and doing things that are going to be the things that are going to affect us based on the things that we choose to do. And if you're a public person, you're going to get a lot more criticism or people talking about the things that you do more than someone who is not a public person. And since starting this channel, I have become more of a public person. More people know who I am. So I have to be able to listen to what people say and not take it to heart, like making it feel like it's something that they're directing towards me to do harm to me. But sometimes people say things because they want to bring things to your attention. And I think when people tell you things that you may not have thought of or hear someone's opinion about you, it can enlighten you to think, oh, I never looked at it like that. Or you could just simply listen to it and be more informed, or be offended. Now, like I've said before, on my channel here, this is where I come into a space, and people that are my subscribers, you are like coming into my home, and we're having a dialogue. And if you have something constructive to say that is not considered nice, that's okay. But it's the people that say things that are completely just off the charts, just wrong, like just say some nasty things. And those are the people who I do not want in my house. Like, you gonna be kicked out my house, because I ain't gonna listen to it. Because what you have to say is not going to be used to be constructive. And constructive criticism, I think, is always a good thing. So just to put that out there again. So there are some things that I noticed about Meghan Markle that I wanted to bring to light, because I felt like there were a lot of things that we could talk about and have a dialogue about that Meghan was doing that just wasn't right. Like, she was making really poor choices. And that is what my channel is based around. Teachable moments. Royally, more specifically, teachable moments. And I'll have fun with it. I may say some things that are silly, and that's what I want to do. I want to have fun when I'm here. I don't want to just be all serious all the time. But at the same time, I want to use the things that I say on my channel as constructive criticism of Meghan. And when Meghan gets or deserves her props, I'm gonna give her props, because that's what you should do. But she's been making a lot of mistakes lately, and it just seems like they're spiraling. They're getting bigger and bigger, and she's getting more bold with the things that she is doing. And she really needs to start listening to people. She needs to start being able to understand that maybe she doesn't have all the answers. And and at the same time, a lot of people say, well, she's mentally ill, she's sick, and I've considered that too as probably the reason why she's been making such poor choices. And she may have a mental disorder, or be a narcissist. I mean, she could have many different things that are the reasons why she's doing the things she's doing. And for example, when she went to Wimbledon and she had all those chairs cleared out around her, you have to be so off the mark mentally to think that you can do something like that and people don't say anything, or people are not going to question it. People are not going to look at you like you trying to be diva-like. You are being unreasonable. You are doing things that are so off the chart that a normal person would do, that it has to be addressed. People have to speak out and say certain things. And just maybe she doesn't see herself in a way that she needs to see herself. Really, I'm thinking perhaps Meghan does not even know how she is coming off. She doesn't see it, because perhaps she's always had people telling her, you know, all the things she's wanted to hear all her life. Like her father has always been there to give her any and everything that she's wanted. And I can only imagine, like, being like her father, how bringing Meghan up, she would have gotten everything she wanted as a young girl. She would have been the kind of child that whatever she wanted, she would have been able to get. But what happens is when that happens, you are entitled to like the umph degree. Like, you think any and everything is yours, and what you want is what you want, and you want it now. So I think there's a lot of deep-seated things in Meghan's upbringing that has caused her to be the way she is. And not only that, she's an actress. And we know, us actresses, we got some problems. We got issues, you know. And, you know, if you're an actor, sometimes that can be a benefit, because you can use your forum as an actress to channel a lot of things that you probably would want to do as an actress, being a different character. So I see Meghan as someone who has gone through a lot. And I want to use my channel to be a way to criticize the things, the choices and things that she is doing in a constructive way, not in a hateful way. With that said, I wanted to look at an article that I thought was very poignant. It's something that I thought about, but I'm so glad that this article was written by Dylan Donnelly. And this could be something that is a game changer. Now, I know a lot of people don't have faith in Harry and Meghan changing, especially Meghan. They think, hey, they got issues, they got problems, and that's just what it is, and nothing I say is going to change it. So, do you want to say something? You want to say hi? Now, with that said, I want you guys to know I have a young lady here who I am mentoring, and she is one of the students in my program. So we got permission from her mom, and she wants to say hi. Hi. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, so let's get into it. This article is about royal family. Meghan faces dilemma over new bombshell. Harry totally torn. And this is what is going to happen. Harry, after meeting with his family, briefly, mind you, not for a few days, but just for a couple of hours, had been talked to in a way that I'm sure he had never been talked to before. It was a coming out of feelings like I'm sure Harry has never seen before. And he is going to take those things that were discussed, and he's going to carry that all back to his wife in California. And he's going to be facing a dilemma, because he's going to, for the first time, be able to see the dilemma, the heartache, the really emotional breakdown that he has caused of his family. And it's going to be something that he has never seen, because this is his first time actually seeing his relatives since the Oprah interview. Now, he may have heard some things on the phone, but to be there with that energy and connecting with his family about, you know, what he said and what he did. There are things that happened in that meeting that either have pushed Harry further away from his family, or have really caused him to be more sympathetic to his family. And we'll know what that was after he's been back in California for a while, and we see the new things and other things that they'll be doing, Harry and his wife, like what's going to happen, because he's going back down to California with a dilemma, a problem, heartache, torn over what to do. So for the first time since March, Harry reunited with his older brother, Prince William, as they said goodbye to their grandfather. The brothers were spotted on the camera speaking to each other, seemingly putting an end to the ongoing rift. So we know that was done to save face and to be cordial, because what else is Prince William going to do? He's not going to give his brother a smackdown in front of everybody after the funeral, like, get out of my face. Like, he's not going to do that. He's going to be cordial. And he's going to just put up a good front, like, hey, what's up? What? Yeah, good. He ain't going to say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. He's going to say it in his very British royal way of saying, oh, this? He doesn't want to? He doesn't want to come in here. He doesn't want to be with me. How dare he? You best be believing, after those doors closed, they gave Harry the smackdown. Like, they gave him a smackdown because they put him straight. You best be believing that is what happened. So Harry, he understood to have met with Prince Charles, Prince William, and Kate after the funeral. Now, we know he didn't meet alone with his father, but he met as a group with these people, these three relatives. And yeah, I'm sure some words were exchanged. And if I were Harry, I mean, if I were William, I would have been doing a pat down. Let me pat you down before we get into this conversation. Like, hand over your cell phone, because I don't trust you. If they were smart, they would have done that. And I'm being serious. It is believed that they met at Frogmore Cottage. Okay, so Paul Burrell believes that Meghan, when she sees Harry after he came to this funeral, it's going to be a different Harry. It's going to be a different Harry. And I believe that. He's going to be a very different man. He says his heart is on two different sides of the Atlantic now. That's right. He's going to see what he has done to his family. And then he's going to see his wife and be like, you are the cause of what happened to my family. Like, he's going to be confronted with the element that put him in this dilemma when he gets home. Now, Meghan will be faced with the dilemma, the bombshell that Harry now feels split in two. For the first time, Harry is going to be really faced with a dilemma between his family back in the UK and his wife where he is at now. Those two from different worlds are going to have to work it out to align themselves. And this is where being able to resolve this issue is so important right now, because either Harry's wife can understand the dilemma she has put her husband through and sympathize with him and make some changes for herself. Because as we've seen, Meghan has never really been accountable for her decisions. She's never really humbled herself to say perhaps she has been in the wrong. Not once during the Oprah interview did she ever say that anything was on her. Like, it's like, you wrong and you wrong and you wrong. Like, everybody's wrong but her. But you can't find healing from a dilemma or a problem if you're not willing to say, well, perhaps I contributed to some of these issues and problems. But I don't see Meghan being able to do that. I see her pushing her problems and frustrations off on Harry. And Harry is going to be the one in the middle between his family and his wife. And he is going to be torn between these two things, because I don't see Meghan giving at all. I don't see her being able to let up on the things, the pain, the frustration, the heartache that Harry is going to be faced with. I don't see her doing that for him, because it's all about her and by any means necessary. And it doesn't really matter that her husband is faced with this dilemma. It's like, do what I want you to do. Get it done. And not really looking at what is happening to this man. And not only that, he's got issues already that he's been dealing with the death of his mother and other things that he's been dealing with that we may not even know about. We know he's got a history of mental health issues. So how is it that Harry is going to be able to sustain the difficulties that are going to be coming his way? Because they're going to be compounded with with time, the more time that goes by, that he's away from his family and there are issues over there. There's so many events coming up. You know, the queen is getting older. His father is going to be coming, the next king. He's going to be heading up the monarchy. He's got the unveiling of his mother's statue. He's, you know, the relationships with his family, the nieces and nephews, and his own son, Harry's own son, will never really have those close relationships with his family members. Like, Harry is going to start to see how bad this situation is for him now. He's going to really start to see he is faced with a really bad dilemma that he can't solve. And the only way to solve it is for his wife to change. Will that happen? Will it happen? You know, Harry comes from a very close family. He's got a growing family on the side of his brother and his cousin's children. There's the charities that he's overseeing. There's things that he is going to be faced with after maybe a year or two that are going to really start to affect him. The novelty is all great now. It's all new. But time is going to weigh on him. And I foresee things getting really, really bad for him. Unless, of course, his wife has a heart and is able to change the way she is feeling about her husband and the dilemma that he is faced with. The solution to that problem lies in the hands of his wife. Or will his wife simply work hard to change Harry, to make him think he doesn't have a dilemma? And she could be like, you know, ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Look at your family. Look at how they've treated you and me. She may be trying to get him to snap out of it. Like, you need to change who you are, Harry. Her whole way of looking at this could be just to change his mindset, to get him to think and see things the way she sees them, to solve this problem. That's what I see. I don't see Meghan changing herself to accommodate the things that Harry is going through. She is trying to change him to think he ain't got a dilemma. He ain't got a dilemma. Just change what you think. And we good. Because Harry didn't even say for the Queen's birthday, right? So there had to be a really just big back and forth, like, ooh, butting of heads. And that had to happen for there to be a breakthrough of trying to solve this issue or trying to come to some resolution about what had happened with the Oprah interview. And it can be bad, but at the same time, it is a good thing because, you know, things, you know, have to be broken and tore down to the very core until they can actually start to be rebuilt on a proper foundation again. And I think tearing up this whole relationship to where it's broken down, where words were exchanged and people said things and it got real heated, I'm sure. And that is a good thing to start to rebuild and to know, hey, where we stand with things. And I wouldn't be surprised if Harry tried to have Meghan on speakerphone while this was going on, and like, so she could be taking notes and writing stuff down and like, well, your father said this, so this is what you need to say next time on the phone when we talk with them. Like, I wouldn't put it past her. She plotting and planning, y'all. She is plotting and planning. Believe me, she had her nose all up in that conversation. So basically, this is the dilemma now that is faced with this couple in California now, and I foresee it being very, very bad and detrimental to Harry. I think it is also the first steps to them rebuilding their relationships, but time will tell. Time will tell what will happen, and we can only wait to see, you know, how will they start to do things now moving forward. Now that Harry has got his family in his ear and he see his wife, you know, like, he's going to have to be faced with what he heard and what he is seeing now that he is back in California with his wife. What will Harry do? That is the question, because we know he is faced with a dilemma. And I think this can go either way for him. But either way, they have got to make a decision. They've got to make a choice to better the relationships, because Harry cannot really move forward anywhere he goes to live unless he makes things right by his family.